If you're new here, welcome. I use XRP as a lens to understand how money's moving in real time and how blockchain is quietly reshaping the systems we all depend on. So, the US government is still in shutdown. And even if that ends tomorrow, the ripple effects have already started. Federal workers waiting on paychecks, families watching benefits stall, rent, car notes, credit cards, the kinds of bills that don't pause for politics. And you don't have to be political to feel it, because when the flow of money slows, it exposes something much deeper: how fragile the systems we rely on really are. Moments like this don't just test people, they test infrastructure. And that's what this episode is all about. Not the politics behind the shutdown, but the systems underneath it. And what happens when they finally have to evolve. When paychecks pause or benefits stall, it's not just about politics. It's about how slow, manual, and outdated our systems still are. Every missed payment, every delay, every waiting period is proof of a process that wasn't designed for the speed of life today. That's the audit, not of leadership, but of infrastructure. What's happening right now is political, and in my opinion, it should be. That's what democracy looks like in real time. People arguing, negotiating, finding common ground. But here's the part no one is really talking about. Once the politics settle, the systems that follow are still slow. Even if the shutdown ends tomorrow, it will take weeks to sort through the paperwork, restart the flows, and get money back into people's hands. And rent, groceries, and bills, they don't wait on process. That's where new infrastructure has a role to play. Not to replace governments, but to make sure the system that serves the people can move at the speed of life. While the old rails strain under pressure, Ripple's been quietly building new ones. They sit inside the US Faster Payment Council. They help shape the Digital Pound Foundation in the UK and advise the Digital Euro Association across Europe. They're working with central banks in Bhutan, Palau, Montenegro, and Georgia, the country, not the state. And not to launch hype coins, but to test what programmable, transparent money could look like when trust is built into the system itself, not demanded from it. This is what infrastructure for the Internet of Value actually means. Not hype, but engineering. So let's break it down. On a global scale, Ripple's network helps banks and institutions move value between currencies almost instantly through on-demand liquidity, powered by the XRP Ledger. Instead of holding piles of pre-funded cash in accounts all around the world, the way SWIFT still requires, liquidity is created automatically, right when it's needed. That solves a global problem, freeing trapped capital and reducing the time and cost of cross-border payments. But on a domestic scale, the same technology has a different value. When government payments restart after a shutdown, the challenge isn't crossing borders, it's clearing layers of verification and settlement that can take days. Ripple's model shows what it looks like when those layers communicate in real time. When funds can be released, verified, and settled almost instantly. with a transparent audit trail built into the transaction itself. It's not about replacing policy or politics. It's about giving modern infrastructure to the systems that already serve people. So when the decisions are finally made, the money can actually move. Each of these stress tests, from supply chains to shutdowns, reveal the same truth. Speed, transparency, and interoperability aren't luxuries anymore. They're requirements. And when we zoom out, Ripple's role becomes really clear. They're not here to replace governments. They're helping them function better, turning fragility into feedback, pressure into progress. Even if everything returns to normal tomorrow, the lesson doesn't disappear. It's that reliability, the ability for value to move when people actually need it. This has become the new definition of trust. And that's what blockchain, and specifically XRP Ledger, was designed to reinforce. It's not about rebellion, it's about resilience. Because even when the noise settles, when politics finally find balance again, the real work is rebuilding trust in how things move. Not the kind of trust that depends on people doing everything perfectly, but the kind that builds into the system itself. So maybe the question isn't what blockchain can do next. It's rather, we are finally ready to build systems that don't break when people need them the most. That's what I'm here to follow. Not the headlines, but the quiet rebuild underneath them. If this helped you see a bigger picture, share it with someone who's still trying to make sense of it. And if you want to keep tracing how money is moving beneath the surface, please subscribe. I'll keep showing up right here. This is LayerOne, and I'm James Harris. Thank you for joining me for another episode. Till the next time.